traders, welcome out to your currency recap for May 5th, 2025. Corey here with you. We're always going to take a look at meaningful news. We're going to talk about what's shaking up different industries. Why is oil plummeting? We'll touch on that. What's happening in the equity markets. And then as always, because this is our currency recap, we're going to highlight crypto trades and Forex trades as they present themselves.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional Forex and crypto traders. Maverick Currencies is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional Forex and currency trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
All right, so as we look at the markets, we came in over the weekend, not really moving all that much. And the news of the day was kind of interesting. So over the weekend, tariffs being announced on the movie industry, anything made outside of the US, now we're going to slap some tariffs on that potentially. On the economic side, we have ISM Services PMI, which beat expectations. A 51 number is not superb. That's slight growth, but it is growth. It is not a recessionary number. Oil cannot seem to catch a break. So OPEC Plus increases supply yet again. They basically are increasing supply of oil, and when it's a supply-demand equation and the market just has too much oil and not enough demand for it, prices continue to get pressed lower and lower and lower. WTI crude down to $57 a barrel today, and it shows no end in sight. So when you have a low price and then OPEC increases supply and pushes more oil on the markets, it further presses those prices down. And then last but not least, over the weekend we had Berkshire Hathaway's annual meeting, Warren Buffett stepping down as CEO, and you can see a big gap down in the shares of Berkshire on that news. As we look at currencies, the Japanese yen, the sharpest to the upside, that's a more defensive currency. And I would say right along with the big jump in the Japanese yen, gold prices sharply higher today. Everything else pretty mediocre, pretty kind of sideways-ish, not too much happening there. But the Japanese yen, defensive and stronger today. Not quite 1% higher, but stronger definitely. Gold, you can see the big outperformer there, up 2.8%. Oil down 2% on the news like we talked about. Equities, crypto slightly lower. As we dig into crypto, certainly a bad day for Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin itself was really quite stable and sideways. So we've got a market here that's just kind of a mixed bag. Now we're back above both the 20 and the 50, just poking our head above the 50, but the slope is still more down. I'm not so sure we're out of the woods yet, but this is what we talked about. You'll recall that we talked about this level, this old support, new resistance concept, and that the market likes to play tricks on you and poke its head up above this zone before maybe it slides back down. And now that's what I've suggested seemed likely. Well, we're doing the poke our head up above. Now we'll see if we get the downward slide. It was a slight pivot over today. We made a lower daily high and a lower daily low, but to this point, we're still holding up relatively well. Now, if we look at the economic side of things, as we said, ISM Services PMI beat expectations, slightly stronger. We've got the Fed meeting this Wednesday. That's newsworthy, of course. They're expected to keep rates unchanged. We've got the Bank of England on Thursday. Really, that's kind of the middle of the night for us here. And then we've got some employment numbers out of Canada on Friday. So plenty to keep us busy and should drive some volatility in terms of markets. Now, as we look at velocity and trades and opportunity, we usually say anything in here in the ones we're less interested in, right? These are your choppy, consolidating areas. There's more strength in the Aussie. There's more weakness in the euro and in Litecoin if you're going to trade crypto. So Litecoin more of a short, euro more of a short, and Aussie more of a buy. Everything else really lacks velocity on the 4 hour time period. So as we look at these charts, we want to pair up in currency land the best performer with the worst performer. I would say we're a little bit late on the Aussie. The ideal spot, obviously, for buying would be this breakout area. See the strong break, big expanded range candle, and increasing RSI, buy signal, upward sloping. It was just picturesque. So we're a little bit behind on the Aussie, but not too far behind. There should still be, for the opportunity, still be some upside here, assuming we can continue to maintain this buy signal and upward slope. This will need to curve back upward before we'd really want to buy, but there can be some opportunity there in Aussie. If we're looking at pairing it up, well, the euro is just starting to break down. So where the Aussie we're a little bit late to, the euro we seem to be right at that point. Notice the downward sloping moving averages and downward trending RSIs and the sell signals and so on. So euro looks like it's right here right now. This is where the euro should weaken further. So I think euro is definitely a short candidate in the immediate future. The question is Aussie going to be able to hold up? We're a little late and it's in a little bit of a pullback, but I could see us going short euros and long the Aussie on the other side of that, right? So we would short the Euro Aussie pair and play this pair as the best and the worst together. In crypto, Litecoin starting to break down. You're down here towards the prior lows, but it's got all the classic characteristics: sell signal, downward slope, breaking down on the RSI. I think Litecoin is going to continue to trade lower here, and it tends to be the most volatile of the cryptocurrencies. So it's maybe a little bit of a canary in the coal mine, maybe starting to break down before some of the other cryptocurrencies also follow suit. FX, we're still relatively low on the volatility. Today, I think what was noteworthy was the relative strength in the Japanese yen. That's kind of a risk off signal. We'll see if it can continue. Crypto sort of resting, but Litecoin might be starting the breakdown, and perhaps some of these other cryptocurrencies will follow suit. Continue to trade that relative strength, relative weakness. Have a great week, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.